And we are... Like we're all quiet, like we need to be quiet.
We're all super quiet. Hey guys, how you doing? Hey, welcome to the what is this? Third? It's not quite annual. You can't call it annual if there's more than one a year for a while there. So it's like
it is the 13th.
Vaguely 13th annual lightsaber choreography competition. Once again, being judged by the friends at friendsinyourhead.com. You should always hang out at friendsinyourhead.com and watch wonderful, amazing content that aren't like lightsaber-centric things usually. But hey, this is an amazing opportunity to talk about the best lightsaber fights the internet has to offer for the year of our Lord 2015. Lord being J.J. Abrams, I think. Is that right?
That's now correct.
This particular year, we have 4 judges. And myself, I'm Teague Christie. I'll be moderating. I'm not a judge. And one of our judges actually got called into work in the middle of the day. So we have his actual tallies, and his judging will benefit from it. But he's not here to say his things, so we can make fun of Eddie Doty, who's not here, but in absentia has sent in his votes. I'm seated to my left is Antoine Bondelet, who is Mr. Lightsaber Guy from many years back. In fact, last year, Antoine and Anthony won, right?
Yes.
Oh.
Last year's winners.
This is clearly rigged.
Super rigged. It's super the riggest. Also, then we got Anthony Alba.
Yes, hello. Good morning.
Hello, everybody.
Good afternoon.
And Ryan Weber.
Ahoy.
We are the couch. We are the couch. So what we're going to do today is walk ourselves through. There was 28 entries this year. I have it to believe. I'm given to believe
there are
that there are 28. We've narrowed it down to the top 10.
Yeah.
So there are 18 entries that are not going to be seen today, and we apologize to the more than like 200% more than people who are going to get seen today. We apologize to all 18 teams who we aren't going to have time for, but that's a lot of lightsaber.
Yeah,
fights.
it's worth pointing out before we get started that if the time limit on the entries is 10 minutes, and so if every entry were just 5 minutes, it would take us 2.5 hours to just watch all of them back to back with no gap in between. So there had to be some whittling down here so we could make a show of this. And so we changed the format a little bit this year to try something slightly different. So
This is good. This is going to be fun. We're trying a new thing for the first time, but no part of it is so new that anyone should be panicking, I don't think.
Right.
It's all just a combination of the stuff that we've done years prior.
I'm panicking.
Panic in Skywalker. So one of the things that we've done every year since we've been doing this is the way that we have scored has always been a process called preferential balloting, which is also the same as how they tally Oscar votes. And the way that works is if you were, say, we're going to care who top 3 are, 1, 2, and 3, you have everyone who's voting pick their favorite one, their second favorite one, and their third favorite one. Every individual voter picks their top 3, and we will assign their top vote, say 15 points, their second vote 10, and their third vote 5. And then everyone's like, all right, my first one was this. And we just kind of say, all right, that one got 15 points. And basically what ends up happening is every single movie gets a number of vote points assigned to it based on where it was in their preference. And you add it all together, and ultimately whichever one has the most points wins. What's interesting about this is that if one movie is someone's first pick, but it's no one else's first, and then basically everyone has their own first place pick, but they all have the same second place pick, the second place one will probably end up getting more points, and this is how it sort of self-writes itself. And like I said,
it kind of awards consistency across the various.
It
voters.
does a fairly effective job of gauging the actual opinion of a thing when it comes to how the most people feel about it, generally speaking. So that's what we've always done, and that's what we're going to do this year. Except instead of just doing the top 3, we have already, with these fine gentlemen's votes, taken the liberty of arriving at the top 10. We're sitting here knowing who already won. You're not. We are.
And we're going to walk up that list.
And we're going to walk up that list. So, wait, Ryan, go ahead and set that part up, because that's the really new thing for this year.
Right. So, yeah, what you, the viewer, will experience is rather than just sort of watching all the films in order, and then we go away for 15 minutes.
We start some random one, then we watch another random one, then we watch another random one.
Yeah, and then we disappear and then come back and then say, hey, the winner! Remember that one? And then scrub it and remind you which one it is. We're actually just going to walk up like a top 10 list. And so we'll work our way up. There's a tie a little closer to the top. That's a little unusual, but that's fine.
Man. We got ties.
And then the last one we watch will be our first place winner for Lightsaber Choreography Competition 2015.
So the 18 teams who aren't entered, we've already watched yours, is how that works. And we're coming in now at the top. It's like VH1. You missed like the top 90 through 70 episode, and we're just kind of working our way down. So
also before we really get into it,
it's a relaxed year this year. We're trying a bunch of new things. We want to make this a cool new experience. So we're just going to pretend like we've done this a million times before and roll with the punches. It's low key day.
We're very aware that there are people out there who are going to not see us watch their film for the first time.
Seriously, we're very sorry
and
about
they're
that.
not going to be sure if they were number 11 or number 28.
That's
and that's we can appreciate that can be kind of tough, but we're just dealing with the reality of how to actually make a show out of this thing and deal with it. But we encourage everyone, go check out the whole playlist on YouTube. Check everybody out because there's lots of good stuff in all corners of that
There
whole
might be
list.
some gems in there that you might like.
Absolutely.
Yeah, man.
Absolutely.
Ultimately, it's just preference. So let's do one last thing, which is we always have to talk about this a little bit before we start, just so in case someone hasn't watched every year's LCC, they're not screwed. How are we judging? What are the criteria that you guys care about as judges?
Oh yeah. So actually, you guys go first because I have a whole thing.
Okay. I'll just say that, traditionally the sort of genesis of the whole contest has always been sort of first and foremost about the choreography itself. And this is a little tricky to try to figure out, because you could have something that you could have a film that has amazing filmmaking and production value and effects and music and all these things, but really
and we
the
do.
heart, and we do.
Yeah.
And what we're really trying to get at is the actual fight itself and the real choreography going on, which makes it very difficult to be impartial and unbiased and try to separate all those things from each other. And so I'll just put it out there that for future years, it's worth considering a more sort of broken out kind of strategy where all these various sort of aspects can be evaluated in their own field, and then ultimately weighted together in a little bit more of a general film festival kind of thing.
Yeah. At the expense of whoever has to deal with the comments. I mean, it's probably going to be on my channel, but I'm not reading them. It's going to be like Nate and Ricky and Antoine, the LCC folks. At the expense of their time and their personal well-being, leave a lot of comments talking about how you think this should be run, because we're opening it up to new thought technologies about how we could judge it in the future. But this year, that's how that's going.
Yeah. So for me, I put choreography above everything else. And how about yourself?
Choreography, performance, and intent, I guess, in the choreography. Because a lot of times you get choreography that's just stick bashing.
Right.
And I can't stand that. But when there seems to be some kind of intent to harm the other person,
right,
or defend yourself, I'm always looking at that.
Or like when there's a giant missed opportunity moment where it's like, oh, well, he should have just killed him right then, and he didn't for dumb reasons. That's a ding.
Yeah,
right on.
That's what I'm looking at. Those three things essentially.
Yeah, in constructing my top 10 list, am I supposed to be looking at the camera? By the way, is it like
the blue? This yeah, you're fine. You're fine.
So in constructing my top 10 list, I actually broke it down between choreography, performance, editing, and cinematography in that order. Like they all had importance based on where they were. And choreography for me is the actual moveset. Like, is it an interesting moveset? Did they come up with new ideas for how to bash lightsabers? And the performance is, how are they performing that? So you could have, pretty mediocre choreography, but if you're performing it really well, that kind of brings it up for me a little bit. And then editing and cinematography kind of is the same. You can shoot something very well and not edit it so well, or vice versa. You can do a very good edit but not actually shoot it very well. Those all kind of factored into and they all have to relate to the fight in some way. Your editing has to relate to the fight. Your cinematography has to relate to the fight. Your performance has to relate to the intent of the fight.
Yeah.
And the choreography, of course, needs to just be interesting. So that's how I broke it down.
Nice. And we'll be talking, of course, about all those things for everyone as we watch them. So
cool. So for the first time officially, we can say, all right, we're going to start. The 10th place this year goes to, and bear in mind, so I'll cue you into this as we go on further. I'll make it clearer as we continue. But ultimately, every single entry got a number of points based on how everyone placed it. Someone put it in like their first place, it gets 10 points, whatever. There was 2 votes for this one, so that puts it at 10th, and it goes from like 2 votes for this to like there ends up being in like the 30s as we go up. So this one, a couple people voted for it. Number 10, Nomads.
Congratulations, Nomads.
Way to go, Nomads.
Hey.
And we have now entered the top 10 2015 thingy. So let's we're gonna, and this is all new experimental technology, so bear with us, but we're not gonna even do the unpausey thing this time. Just, you got it in front of you, you're fine. So Ryan, drop us in.
Here we are.
That's beautiful.
Oh, yes, I do.
Hey, look at that. And you get a lot of guys throw ups in this too, so it can even once they get painted over, we can come back and find their representation. It's beautiful. It's actually kind of cool. I like the colors. Anyway, hey, look, lightsaber fight.
And I like the little reflection that's going on. I don't know if that's like based off of water or what's going on, but it's got a nice vibe. I like the color palette that's going on right now.
Is vibe one of the criteria in your new science?
No, that's not one of the factors for me.
Hey, cool. All right.
I'm not a huge fan of the jump cuts. They can be very effective sometimes. There are jump cuts that I think there are some that we have coming up that work pretty well, but it's hard to get that right. And it's also very much a subjective thing, jump cuts. So.
And also here at the beginning when we're just dealing with, one character looking around, not being sure of where the other guy is, we're just moving through space and it's sort of a little disorienting and everything. There's not a lot else to cut to. So it's that can be a challenge.
Not to mention that everywhere else on YouTube, jump cuts are accepted and even encouraged.
Right.
Yeah, but there's an art to jump cuts. There's a good way of doing it.
There is a proper way to use it.
Right.
And it's not proper right now. Yeah.
Well, we are spending a fair amount of time just sort of chasing around and being elusive, and now we're starting to actually square up.
Yeah, and I think that's a big thing with a lot of fights is that, just get into your fight. I mean, yeah, we can have a little intro, get the motivations for the characters, but let's fight. That's what you're here for.
Yeah.
Right.
When I was watching these, I was actually thinking of our conversation that we had. It's like you don't want to spend a whole hour setting up the fight. Just get to it.
Right. I know, George
that was
Lucas.
In our competition too. We were saying like you did an extended intro for the release
the final
of it,
edition,
but I was like, no, for the LCC, let's keep it really short. We
Yeah.
see each other's faces and we fight. Let's just get into it.
And people will be like, huh? Because later we'll be like going, oh wow, this one, the plot really works for me.
Right.
We've got a minute or two of setup, and that really helped me get invested in the fight. And so it's tricky, and it can be done right. But in general, cut the first act as much as you can, as they say.
I like some of the ideas they had in here.
Yeah, they were trying.
Yeah,
they really
had some creative
attempted.
ideas, but I think I got distracted by some of the performance things and these weird experimental things.
I was weirded out by this too. Why is he calling him back if he's
Yeah.
about to fall in the water and away from you, and you're probably gonna win? I didn't understand that as much.
Because if he was all soggy when he killed him with the lightsaber would get extinguished.
Oh, good job, too. That's why you're here.
Reasoning.
These guys are moving around pretty good. You got to give it to them. There are a lot
They're
of
not
entries.
stiff.
Yeah, there's a lot of entries you see where it's just sort of just standing and the arms are moving and is swinging a saber at each other, and there's not much else going on. But they're actually popping down into a kneel or jumping and spinning, and that's good. It helps it stay kinetic. So
Also, there's a lot of. I really like what the super graffiti everywhere does for your geography. It gives you, first of all, depending on how sort of crystal clear and obvious a given that Pokeball is, it gives you a sense of geography pretty easily when you're moving the camera around. Where it's like, there's the Pokeball, and you can kind of keep your bearings. But also, it immediately, depending on what angle, or if you're doing a long lens thing, it all of a sudden becomes very confusing because it's just a big blur of all these colors, and you lose your spot. You can use it to your advantage to either be clear or vague with the graffiti surroundings, and I thought that was worth calling out.
And also they had a little moment where they
I'm
had
not a judge.
They had a close-up on the gentleman who was hiding, and I think that's something that's kind of neglected in filmmaking in general for newcomers, is to utilize your close-up very well, because you really want to get into what's going on in the character's mind, and we need to see their face to do that. And a lot of times, you'll have those long shots so you can capture the action, but also let's see what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
With their emotion.
Right.
Oh, I just got kicked in the face. What does he do with that?
Right.
For me, I think the sort of chasing each other around really kind of slowed things down.
It was unnecessary.
For me. It kind of broke the energy that they had going for them. And you know what? A lot of times in other entries and in that one, as an example, you have the situation where why at any given moment does someone choose to run away?
Right.
And a lot of folks just sort of do that to change location or just to start things moving. But it's really like if you can actually motivate a good reason that, right now, it'd be better if I was not engaged in combat with you for a second.
Right.
That helps a lot,
Yep.
So.
Any other sort of
Did you feel like
outstanding-
that was lacking in this?
I felt that this one, there was not much intention.
It was just
there.
happening for the
It
sake
just
of
sort
happening.
was just you just run away, and I'm like, okay, well, we just lost all the energy we had going for us, and why exactly? So,
Yeah.
Yeah, this one was actually one of Eddie's, and I'm sure he has opinions about it, but he's not here.
Oh, we all individually have our own lists that we
Right.
voted on
Yeah.
with us here.
So let's move. Let's just keep moving right along.
Yes, move
Thank you,
on.
Nomads. Well done.
Yes.
You officially placed. Let's moving on down the list. In 9th place this year, Corruption.
Corruption. Yes, I do remember this one.
Yeah, and looks like everyone, a lot of you guys voted on this one. This one,
I did vote on this one.
This one
yeah.
shows up in a
I
lot
did.
of lists.
This was, what was it on my list?
This was
Yeah, it was the second. It was 9th.
This was
Oh
fifth-
yeah,
fifth
it's
on my list.
exactly where it's at.
Cool.
I completely agree with the placement of this entry.
Ryan, I'm ready when you are.
Okay, I'll try to keep an eye on your screen.
No, you're fine. You're fine. We've split up duties.
I'm trying to get my
We've split
cursor
up.
off there for you.
Oh, you're fine.
Anything happening in the chat that we should? We're all good. All right.
Mickey's making
Yeah.
dirty jokes.
We do have a chat room open here, so you folks who are watching live with us right now,
Yeah.
we get to
And
see
we are
what
we
you're
are
saying,
LCC
so.
judges, by the way. That's not Mickey just trolling you.
How many people do we have in there, Teague? Do you know?
43.
So many nature
Got
shots for this
43.
opening, huh?
That's some familiar faces in there too.
Nature.
So many nature shots.
Nature shots.
Leaf, tree. More trees.
Oh, so that means that they're evil
Dun, 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 dun.
because we just had this very ethereal thing. And oh no.
Well, you know, we broke the peace
We
of
broke the
nature
peace,
with
yeah.
our.
That's a
our
very
fight.
Spielberg-inspired kind of thing,
Yeah.
actually, to show the nature
yeah, like
and then
the
have
music too, like the
boots.
Right.
nice ethereal music, and you're like,
It'd be like a snail crawling along this boot, just like a Monty Python kind of shot. Right?
exactly.
So,
I don't know if anyone's played Last of Us, but that's
so
the thing
this
with
was the one where they grab the saber and he like goes evil.
Right,
Right.
yeah.
It contaminates him. Oops, little.
I believe that they're
Missing media for
Are they
a
supposed to,
second.
I can't remember in the story. They're brothers or they're related or something.
Mhm.
I don't know if that's.
We're watching
this
it
one.
without sound. Admittedly,
If they are
everybody,
brothers, they're related.
so that's a true story.
Yeah.
That is very
Unless
true.
they're adopted.
This is very true.
Right.
Gotcha.
And I have an adopted
Gotcha
sister.
there.
I should have.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
I like the energy.
Yeah.
I like the main guy's outfit.
I also,
Yeah.
This isn't really a criteria, but good
Mad
job on the
Max
sabers.
looking
Those
thing.
sabers are
Yeah.
spot on.
Hey, they look
the
nice.
sabers are good.
Good job on the ponytail guy.
yeah.
and they're making attempts to have angles that highlight some of the choreography and some of the editing, which is why I appreciated
Yes.
this one and had it on my list.
Right.
And it's always such a weird nightmare to try to, like, the weird fuzzy line between a well-directed and clear scene and a poorly directed scene. Well, actually, there's a huge gap. There's the well-defined scene, and then also this could be clearer, but I can't tell what's wrong scene. You know,
Right.
and for a shot that they've used a few times in this, that's always, for being kind of an obvious shot, it works every time, is the fairly wide lens, and as those guys are like fighting and going backwards on a line or whatever, the camera's just right next to them, just walking with them. That shot works in every scene I've ever seen it play in.
Right.
Getting the close-ups and
Yeah.
trying to explain away the geography and the movement and how people are doing. Like right here, what's happening right here? That shot, the sort of following one guy as
Right.
they walk wide. It's nice and open. You can see what everyone's doing. You also get a sense of the. I keep bringing up geography. I might sound insane. Geography is a huge part of the sort of mental clarity.
Yeah,
of the viewer.
absolutely.
Because you know what that that clearing looks like when you're making it. And you would accidentally carry the assumption that everyone does without
Right.
even knowing that you were doing that. But for the audience, getting a sense of like, okay, there's a big red thing on that side, so I know where we are, where we're looking, is really, really helpful. So wide shots help. You should have some.
And it makes it that much more important because you're watching a fight where everything around them is kind of
Right.
the same in all directions.
Yeah.
And
Right.
so you really have to tell by the movement and the way that it's cut to actually pick up on where you've moved when a cut occurs.
Yeah, and these guys do pretty well with that for being a pretty much just a field all around them on all sides. They do a good job, and things like that are a wonderful way to get around 180 rule problems, where you see the camera actually changing its position, and sort
Right,
of
yep.
when you do this thing, it changes where your previous lines were for the 180.
I would have bumped this much higher on my list if the intent was just stronger.
Yeah.
It just felt.
What do you
like,
mean when you say intent?
I don't.
And it's
What's
just
lacking?
like, I guess it's just performance is more what I'm talking about. It's like
Right.
it feels like it's kind of just walked through. Like this is a rehearsal as opposed to actually fighting for your life, fighting for survival.
What's
And
the-
it's difficult to break through that ceiling
Right.
to
Yeah.
get it up to that next level.
You guys have all had LCC winning lightsaber fights. All the alls of you. Let me
Yeah.
ask you this: what is the difference that you
There's an intensity lacking.
when you've done the last rehearsal thing, you've done the entire thing through? It's like the last time with your partners. Like, all right, good to go, and you roll.
Yeah.
What's the difference between that last practice run and the roll and the one that you actually do as a take?
For
What
me
do you do
personally?
differently
For
in that
me
moment?
personally, I actually do a lot of. He'll attest to this. I do a lot of physical, not physical, but verbal, like.
Right.
You know,
like
I'll
tennis
act- like,
players.
yeah, like I'm actually like in a fight where I'm like lunging and things like that, and that helps me get into it. Like the Kia, that's what you get when you're in karate class. Like, hey, yeah, yeah, you do
Yeah.
that. You do that, right?
well, that goes back to intent.
And that's
Yeah.
what helps. And you even hear when you have boxers, that's them. It's a breathing method, so they don't get exhausted and things like that.
Yeah.
But boxers, they have like the
well,
like
the
that,
breathing
know.
also helps give you more power in
exactly,
the attack.
and that's something
Oh.
that brings it to the fight. Like if you're
Right.
going to have more intensity, if you're going to have
That's
your whole
cool.
body a part of it,
I was worried that I'd ask you a question that would only have a dumb answer, but that was really insightful. Good, because I was like, oh, maybe I just asked a question that's wonderful.
But to go back on this one, I actually didn't think. I think they're their intent was fine. I think it's just the performance.
Yeah, that's what I meant.
itself
I corrected myself.
wasn't-
there,
Right.
Yeah.
And for
Wasn't
me,
there.
I would put the sort of number one thing to work on with the hand stuff didn't really sell
Right.
super well for me. They didn't lean too heavily on that, so that which is probably a safe bet, but it was more like toward the beginning and stuff. But the punches and things, like I didn't quite feel like they landed, although they did pick good angles for them. I think the next way to level this up might be to get a little more explore the environment, explore try some other sort of creative ideas or force usage or things like that, because it's like there's definitely strong stuff here for the saber work that they're doing, and I liked the different weapon and everything, and that was cool. So I kind of see them as being ready to keep going, try
Yeah,
more.
they're at that
Right.
point where you've got the foundation. You just gotta
Right.
keep polishing it. And when you polish that, then you'll have it.
Yep.
It's so strange because the difference between it feeling like it's real and it not is like maybe 5%. It's
Yeah.
all just like that extra little performance.
Yeah.
That was all it would
Yeah.
take to get there.
And it's hard to know what to do without having just done it more times and
Right.
see what it ends up looking like. You
Right.
know, that's kind of the only way to really judge yourself.
Right.
You know? So, yeah.
Cool. Let's move right along. What's next? In 8th place,
8.
Spiked,
Spite. Ah, yes.
Spite. Where was
I
this
recall
one? Where was this
which
one?
accumulated 10 points from all the judges. Ryan, you want
Oh,
to
this is
let her
actually in
rip?
the same spot that I put in as well. I agree with this placement of the list. What's going on here?
We just took your list.
Antoine's like, well, fair enough then.
Fair enough.
All that stuff about vote preferential, but we just made that up. That's
It's all based on
we just
Antoine
took
right
his. So yeah.
I thought it was
nice,
pretty pretty.
nice fill lights.
It was pretty.
Good job.
Yeah.
Also, if you guys
Oh,
are
yeah.
watching live and the stream's a little bit choppy, we're sorry. Well, I'm doing everything I can to make it not choppy, but ultimately it's
We're trying to run a live show out of YouTube.
It's
here.
it's at the whims of the streaming
I thought
gods.
this-
If you're watching this on YouTube in the future, it's perfectly fine.
I thought the story elements here were a little bit distracting for me.
Oh, really? I was gonna say I liked them.
No,
I
I
liked
didn't
them,
like it.
especially the ending
I
they
didn't
have.
like any of the dialogue. I'm like,
Well,
just stop talking, start fighting.
Yeah, yeah. I mean,
goddamn
like
it.
it wasn't the best performed acting wise, but I liked it. I like what it did for the fight.
I
especially
thought,
the little-
I thought it was okay, and it didn't.
was
they didn't
quick.
spend too much time on.
yeah, it
it.
was quick.
Yeah, it's weird. It's one of the things among the fights that you guys have made. There's no dialogue in any of the movies, is there? I
No.
don't think you guys tend to go in just for the porn version of a lightsaber fight, where it's just like,
Well, I
all
feel-
right, let's go in.
Here's
feel
your
like-
pizza. Oh, you have a lightsaber.
Yeah, but it's without the
Going
dialogue.
back to what you were saying
the guy
earlier.
brings the pizza, and there's just like a snap zoom into his eyes, and then he drops it, and they start.
Right.
Uh,
That probably exists.
Going back to what
online.
you were saying earlier about the environment and like when you're shooting, you know what the environment looks
like,
like.
the geography of it.
But people don't when they're watching it. For me, I'm trying to construct the fight so that it's communicated without words, where you can just see what's going on in the characters' heads. But I'll still get questions on YouTube like, "Well, why did they do this? Why did he do that?" And I'm like, "Well, it's all there if you just analyze it,
Right.
if you dissect it."
Right.
Going back
You
to the
play
entry
both sides.
itself, there was a little cut there where she does the force choke on him.
Right.
And then the next shot we see is him already down, like grabbing for his throat. A little tip on doing cutting on action. When she does something like that, where we have her doing a cause, the effect, we have to see him coming into it. So we see her hand go out, and then we have him coming down into it.
See
in the-
him
in the next
react
edit.
to it,
Right.
and-
And that's just something that's
Yeah.
just an editing thing that you have to, just get used to with the pacing. But
Mhm,
small things like that, look into that.
The army shows
I
up.
like this little bit, like it's like, oh, okay, let's stop
All
fighting.
right,
Let's fight
well,
these Jedi. Like
okay.
I thought that was all right.
New enemy here.
And like you said, it's all short. It's not like it doesn't overstay its welcome.
They keep it moving. I enjoyed the bit where they were both kind of grappling over that same one. That actually there was a very sort of almost moments of Crouching Tiger in there. Is what it reminded me of.
It's always
Little-
fun to see
little bit in there.
like variations in the weaponry
It was
too.
almost there for
So-
me.
so
It
close?
was just a little like, it was a little messy. Just
Yeah, it was a little
clean it
messy,
up,
but
clean it
it's
up.
okay.
You're right there.
It's
Yeah.
okay though. Like they definitely had the effort.
It didn't crack my top 5, but it is on my list of top 10,
Yeah.
obviously, or else it wouldn't be.
That was
But,
exactly where I had it. Right there.
It's on everyone's list, but Anthony.
Yeah.
Giant bummer Anthony. It's classic Anthony.
The reason I think I put that one on my list too is because
Single me out.
I think I like some of the choreography, especially the group stuff, because the group stuff is usually really hard to do, and I think
There's
they did that pretty well.
Great ideas in it.
Yeah,
there was great ideas in it.
I think that's probably why I put it on my list, is the idea behind it, and less because of the actual performance. Because I feel like it was less. The strength kind of tapered off when it was just the 1v1 between the guy and the girl,
Right.
Versus the group fight, which I actually thought was done pretty well.
Yeah.
Cool. You guys want to move right along?
Yeah, let's move
We're
on.
flying. This is great. Normally, we end up spending hours and days and years on these. This is fun. All right, 7th place, Malice versus Ren.
This was actually higher on my list. So
Darth Malice versus John Ren. Let's take a look-see.
This is high on your list?
This is higher on my list.
Yeah, Antoine's got this. Where is this on yours? It's like
That's
halfway
the same
up.
as
Like
mine.
sixth
Yeah,
place on
yeah.
Antoine's
Right.
list? Yeah.
6th place.
Yeah, I mean, it's
That's
not
there.
that much higher, but it's a little bit higher.
Yeah.
Mine is one slot higher.
Actually, Anthony and Antoine are in perfect agreement about where this one
This
goes.
there you
is
go.
so. I think this is a great example. There are two really good examples in our top 10 here that really kind of can highlight the difference between choreography and performance.
Yep.
Sure.
And so I think this one actually is honestly, I feel like it's actually kind of uneven as you move through it. Like there are parts that work better than others, but they are definitely going at a more sophisticated sort of level of choreography. They're trying stuff that requires it to be performed well to kind of make sure that it lands and that it sticks and that it works. So
In
I
other
feel
words,
like
they're not doing just safe sets that are like tried and true.
yeah, it's not your typical left, right, up, down stuff. They're
Right.
doing more, and they kind of like these little breaks into slow motion, and later on they do some stuff that's slowed, but performed slowed to help do even more with that. And like I said, in some places it works better than others. I think my overall sort of problems why it wouldn't get higher are just the overall flow of the thing.
Right.
The
pacing
for me.
of it. Yeah, I agree with that. It feels a little bit choppy, I would say. But yeah, like I definitely enjoy the choreography and that it isn't, except for right now, it isn't very, left down, right up. They do different angles. They enter in, kicks and things like that. Were you going to say something, Anthony?
They're trying things, and that's
Right,
what I
they're trying.
liked about it. But if like the other one, it feels like a rehearsal fight scene as opposed to a legitimate, intense fight scene. So all the points I gave it were more for the creative choreography and trying different things. And like they had a close up at one point when they clashed. Like they're trying to maintain the intensity
Well, let me ask you this.
artificially.
If you had this in the can and you're like, okay, we're not there yet, but this is all good stuff. What would your directions be to be like, all right, so we're going to roll on this. What adjustments would you have to what we see in front of us? Would you be like, all right, would it be like performance-y stuff or would it just be like directing stuff?
It would be performance
Like-
more than anything else. It's just
Try to get
it just
everything more
doesn't
fluid,
feel
or?
it doesn't feel like they are really out to kill each other. That's
Right.
the problem. It's like when there's a close up and they're at pause with each other, then it feels intense.
Right.
But then when you get back to the fight scene, it's like okay, we're back to rehearsal again.
And you can sort of see them. All right, I see what you're saying.
Yeah, that's primarily what
like
my,
that. Like
How
that's really
much-
cool, creative.
Yeah.
I think that bit.
As like a sort of summary tip, is faster going to be better in that case? Is it just if you just do it faster, that at least gets you part of the way there?
It's not just speed. It was like he was saying where he's yelling with it. He wants to
Right.
hurt me in the fight scene. Like if you don't see it,
Right.
if
Right.
you don't feel it in the moment, it's not going to communicate across camera because the camera doesn't lie.
Yeah.
That is a big thing I actually learned from Ryan when we were shooting. Me and Ricky were shooting, and Ryan was behind the scenes. Sometimes we'll
Ricky
go
versus
faster.
Silent Bat?
Ricky versus Silent Bat and Nemesis. When we would go fast and intense because we felt like, oh yeah, that means we're like really into it. He's like, well, it's not very clear like what's going on. Like it does almost feel like it's a rehearsal because you're just going through the things, but you're just doing it like really fast.
You gotta milk those moments,
And you have to put intention in each.
Right.
Why
Yeah.
is that strike so great? Like, don't go over it. If you glaze over it, then
Yeah.
intricate choreography just gets lost in the fray.
Right.
That's interesting. In the chat, King Cool points out they sort of look like they don't want to hit the sabers too hard.
Yes.
There's a few
Yes.
glowing props
And
in
that-
this,
you
in
know
this
what?
round,
That-
and maybe that might be it.
That
yeah.
probably makes all the sense in the
Because
world,
those are
Yeah.
nice props.
Yes.
This is why what you should do is you should go to sabershop.com. You should buy yourself a nice fancy ass.
Oh, so brutal.
Thanks, buddy. I'll give you your 20 later.
That's right. Hey. Oh, hey. Sorry.
Very true.
There's
Actually,
a code.
I had a person
Don't
who
miss
had
it.
an answer
There
this
we
year
go.
and he didn't, and he asked me like recommendation of what saber to use, and I told him like, yeah, if you want ultra sabers, they'll look really nice, for the ambiance of your fight. But if you really want to put like, and I know that he's a stunt performer and he would really appreciate a blade that can stand up to punishment. So I told him to go to Saber Shop, not just because I know Ryan, but like legitimately, like
Saber
that
Shops
is
are the best.
That is
Who
the best way
choreographed
to
that
do
one?
it,
Was
so.
it the director?
We're looking at the sort of
Oh,
the
was it?
behind
It
the
was
scenes
separate?
stuff in the credits there. It looks like they had a lot of fun making that.
It looked like he was sort of advising performance there. in that little
It said
clip.
directed and edited by.
Mm.
I didn't see the name of the choreographer. A lot of kudos to him, though. I think that it was really creative.
There's some
Yeah,
good
the
stuff in
choreo
there.
was
Yeah.
there.
Mhm.
Cool. So we put
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
That ends up at 7th place. That was Malice versus Ren, right? I'm not losing my mind.
Correct.
All right. So next up, we've got in what is this 6th place, The Thing About Betrayal.
The
guys?
thing
Oh, right.
about
Yes,
betrayal.
yes.
Accumulated 16 points from the four of us. There are 16 points awarded to it. So if you guys want to take a look at that one,
Where'd you place this one?
dive right in.
Oh, you put this at the bottom.
Yeah,
Think about
that's
betrayal.
why I was gonna say anything. It's all good.
I like that we're being transparent about it though, because that's fun.
I had this
Right.
at 7.
Yeah, Anthony is at 7. Eddie had this one at 4. And Ryan's got this. What is this? Down at 7 for him too. What's
Where
going
am
on?
I? What am
This
I?
is sort of everyone's got this in the center of their pack. This isn't not on anyone's list.
Right,
It's,
it's consistent on everyone's list. That's for sure.
I wonder.
definitely, yeah.
Do you guys remember sort of what it was about this one that you really liked?
This guy, the main guy, actually. Yeah,
Dude,
is that why? Is
he
that
is.
for you too?
It's the hair, right?
I do like that guy.
Yeah.
No.
No, he's got good face.
He plays this so freaking well. Like he is really really funny to watch.
Yeah,
to me.
yeah,
and,
yeah.
and like not in a laughing at him way, but like,
No, like
look at it. He is like nailing that.
Yeah,
Like,
he's got this.
That's hilarious.
He's committing
fantastic.
to it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
And when he
He's
fights
a lot
these
cool-
guys,
that guy's a
but
lot-
you know what? To twist that into a serious,
no, seriously,
note on
he's
this,
a lot cooler than me.
It's really they again like we're really sort of characterizing here, and that like is gonna come into play as we get into the choreography and what each person is like and how they fight and what means what to them and all that kind of stuff. And so as far as building character goes, it's kind of like it's nice to seriously it helps to go like, oh, that guy I like him, he's funny. Yeah.
and his moves are really good. Like
Yeah.
I mean, it's a little flat-footed, but like some of the I like just
Yeah.
the bit of it. Like I think his kill moves are really nice.
Yeah,
I like
he's-
that kill
he's
move.
in- into it
feels
there,
like he really wants to hurt them.
That yeah, right. He's got some intention there.
Yeah, that's exactly what's lacking in the other fights that haven't placed, this high.
And it's not that everyone else in this is quite up to that same level,
Right.
but there's a reason he's the lead, I think. You
Right.
know what I mean? Like he's
I wonder if part of it, and part of the reason why you can accidentally back into that feeling of intent if you've just practiced it enough and you can do it fast,
Yeah.
is because you no longer look like you're worried about hurting them. You look like you kind of want to hurt them.
Yes.
Like up until the point where you're comfortable with the choreography, you look like you don't want to hurt them, which is the opposite of how you should look.
I suppose an obvious point, but I'll just make it a
Like
point.
that. Oh, that was such a good- that was
yeah,
so good.
absolutely.
Nice parry.
To just
Yeah.
throw it out there as one of the, every once in a while on these, I drop like a big, huge piece of info that I learned from years of doing this myself. The idea of being sort of restrained, thinking that it'll come off like, oh, we're so good, we're so skilled that it's easy, it's not difficult,
Never
it's not
plays?
challenging. Never plays.
Never plays.
So, like, if we were to do Ryan versus Brandon 2 again, we would go at it a little more. Brandon admitted that himself,
Like
just
the
sort
moment,
of personally.
like
but
an example
I would,
in my
of course,
head
too.
I mean, it works.
I did notice that, but I never said anything.
But like at the end of the Matrix, where Neo can finally fight Mr. Smith, and he's just like,
Yeah.
and he's just like he kind of like gets
yeah,
away
but
from
that's
it.
like one moment.
No,
in the
but
whole
that's the
thing.
kind of thing
Yeah.
you're talking about, right?
Yeah.
Where you have to.
And that works because it's in contrast to.
Right. Because
Now-
and
having
Agent
to
Smith
fight
is
back.
like
Actually, you guys are
trying,
bringing this
right.
up, and she's about to do something right now where it's a cool move. Like she's doing this, where it's like, I'm not looking at you. I'm so
Boom.
great.
Right.
But I don't know if that really. I don't know if it works.
It only works if it's broken at some point.
Right.
If that's how she starts and then she's broken from that attitude, then it works.
Yeah.
Or if she arrives at that attitude, then it works.
Yeah.
But if that's all you're doing the whole time, then it doesn't work.
I think that little set, as an example, was fairly simple in its construction. It wasn't very inventive, except
But it was
the
put together
jump.
well.
The jump was good, but the execution was very nice.
Yeah.
There was a lot of speed, a lot of intent, and boy, you cannot understate how cool a cape looks in a saber fight.
Oh, yeah. Oh, gosh,
is that's another.
No capes.
Oh, that one little strike, that underhand, that inverted grip thing he did right there was pretty nice.
Wow.
This girl's not bad. Either.
Yeah,
No,
There's-
she's not bad at all. She's
And the thing about the
torquing.
staffs, getting staffs to move fast is next to impossible. Those things don't want to spin around very quickly.
No, and that's the main thing about using a staff too. You have to torque your entire body with it, and
Twerk it,
Yeah, twerk it, or just be,
or did you say torque?
or just. Oh my God, you guys! I'll bet you Ray Park could twerk like a mother, but he doesn't have a butt. So what would you do?
That was nice. I like that little spinning on force push.
So you guys don't want to talk about Ray Park twerking?
He's really nice.
Oh, you met him?
I met him several times. One time I was drunk. It was really nice
did,
to me.
Did he twerk?
No.
Okay, so none of us know exactly what it would look like. We have to imagine it together. This is fun.
Nice 2 minutes.
Nice. I like this.
Apparently, he didn't say his line in Star Wars.
It was the guy.
Really?
It was the
Yeah.
roommate.
It's a different voice,
It was the
yeah.
roommate in
Yeah.
Shaun of the Dead.
Because I asked him, I'm like, why
Yeah.
didn't they give you more lines? He's like,
Nice.
I didn't even say that line.
I love kills like that where they just happen midway through the fight.
Boom.
That's how it would happen. Like in a fight, you just
Yep.
hope someone
Good stuff.
Yep.
It
gets
blindsides
dead.
you. Yeah.
Good
You just-
stuff.
that's what happens. Like 1 centimeter off with a lightsaber,
There you go.
you're done.
Yeah, that
Right.
guy looks like he. That was there
This
you
is
go.
good. Like their intentions really is there. And then it kind of breaks, and it's like, no, keep going.
We don't have the sound going, so I'm not sure if they used it, but that would have been one of those rare moments in life where you get to use that one lightsaber sound effect. Where it's pop, 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 pop.
I know exactly the one you're talking about too. I know exactly.
It's like I can never use this. Nothing ever looks like that.
It's a Phantom Menace.
It's when Darth Maul is going backwards. Actually,
just get a little more creative with those.
Yeah.
Like that was just very kind of
like they were getting
repetitive there. But they've clearly got the talent to do more. So
Right.
I'm really urging them to go
This is good
at it
stuff.
again, get a little more.
Whoa!
little
Don't.
more
We're
getting serious.
unzip their pants.
Why? This is like the opposite of what you guys did in RVD2. It's like, no, let's put our sabers down and fight.
Right.
What?
He really, for seeing him run at him from 15 feet away, he really wasn't very well prepared for that tackle.
I know. He's like,
I
wonder what's going to happen.
I thought he could have ducked or something.
These guys both have good intense face.
Especially given everything he did leading up to that moment.
Whoa!
Nice,
Hey,
nice.
nice.
Yeah.
Oh
I'm
wow!
not sure what that one was for though. But
The up like knocking his head
Just to
into
show
the
you.
Up force
Oh.
uppercut.
Wow.
like, I love his kills. He had really nice kills.
Yeah, that was intent. That looked like he really wanted to stab the guy through the
Dang,
back.
he really is dying too. Good job, man.
Yeah,
Nice die face.
Medium well done.
I want to see their next thing.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, you guys definitely keep going because, like the other entries, you have a good foundation to build off of.
What would be the thing that you think they should spend the most time working on? Like the thing that's the thing that's the least totally in the bag here. Because they got a lot of stuff that's like, yep, that's it. That's how you do that. Good job. What would be the thing where it's like, here's what you should work on?
For him, he did great. He did a great job. But the other people, I would try to match his intensity.
Oh, I see.
Because it's like it was just kind of the other thing I was saying was earlier,
Just being in it.
not that, but how she was kind of being nonchalant
Right.
about the lightsaber thing, like having an arc to it, like having a style that you start with and then it shifting into something else by the end. Like an old kung fu fight scene or something,
Right.
Exactly. Both with the performance and the actual choreography itself, there was nothing that was completely lacking across the board here.
Exactly.
And so I think it's like the best stuff they were doing, just more of that. Like they've
And that's
got
how you
it,
get that's how you get yourself situated on everyone's list. That was good.
And don't get lazy towards the end because that choreography towards the end was kind of crap.
Oh,
It was because it was
getting real.
compared to the other stuff. I'm like, but if you just like kept doing more of like you were saying, just
yeah,
get
yeah.
more creative. And
if they weren't so good at the beginning, it wouldn't be
Yeah,
such
exactly.
it'd be a different story.
trade it off.
Yeah,
Like take that
ramp
bad
up,
stuff
ramp
and
up.
put it in the
Yeah.
back, and then take
Oh, ramp up. That's a good note.
Always ramp up.
Yeah,
always
absolutely.
ramp up. Leave your best stuff. Sometimes when you do your choreography, the best stuff's actually at the beginning because you practice it so much, and it's the first thing you do. And you're like, oh yeah, this is when we're fresh. Try and make that your last set. Make your last
Absolutely.
set the first thing you practice, and then get into the more rudimentary.
maybe
from
not
the
even that.
beginning.
Maybe, but it's also just it getting more intense.
Yeah, that
I
too.
keep going back to that George Lucas
As
word.
much as you
But
can,
like
yeah.
even ours at the very last bit was made up on the spot.
Yeah, that was all freestyle.
But what made it work was just how intense it was
and how
I
it
thought.
fitted within the arc
Yeah,
of the
exactly.
fight. Yeah.
So
One of the smartest to compliment myself. One of the smartest things
One
I
of the
did.
smartest guys I know.
in
me.
terms of actually trying to get that successful flow into Ryan versus Brandon 2 was moving the big giant long set to the end,
Yeah, 'cause
and
usually
having
you-
that be the sort of
Right.
climax of it.
I mean,
because
the
hopefully
other
that's
Ryan versus fights all start with a big
Yeah.
unbroken set.
and retrospectively that really strains your patience right from the get go. You know what I mean?
It's fun.
shooting?
It's
I think it's
yeah.
fun.
I mean, it's sort of asking you to just keep watching this thing. And it's like, no. Trust me, we cut later and we do cool stuff. But right now, we're gonna make you watch us clearly have memorized this thing.
Well, that's also a footprint in the snow. That's kind of neat. I like watching the sort of
I agree with
opening,
you.
the opening
Yeah.
oneer, and then it's the fight builds kind of story wise, and then the end it sort of has a thing that matches the same intensity. I don't know. It's sort of like how you would build your stand up set, where it's like second best thing first, best thing last, and then kind of just go in order in the middle.
but when you go into a long string of stick bashing right from the get go, you don't get a chance to establish stylistically what each person's like.
That's true too. I
a
mean,
good
it's
idea.
possible to do. You'd have to really design it in that way.
Yeah.
But if to me, like the idea of doing that kind of thing should be the most intense part of your fight, and therefore it should be toward the back,
Yes,
probably.
yes.
So if it's
Yeah.
successful,
So what we're saying is just don't make lightsaber fights. All right. So the next one down the list, moving on, we're on what is this? Position number 5. And it's just barely edged out the Betrayal. This one got 18 points. Betrayal got 16. But 18 zombies with lightsabers.
This is exactly on my list at
Here
number
we
5.
go.
Just gonna say that.
Antoine rigged this.
I had this at number 8.
Number 8.
The reason I liked it is there was a certain. I think I was biased to like one of their shots they had. Where they shot this kick so well. Like I'll tell you guys when it comes up, and I was like, that's just so good.
They had some good intention in the
good
fight
job.
scene.
Yeah,
and I thought it was creative. Just
but
the
I did dock
concept of
points
it.
because the pacing was way too long.
Yeah.
Like, it overstayed its welcome for me.
Yes, I agree with that. My main criticisms are sort of the overall length, because there's nothing wrong with any of this. This is all
the
just
beginnings of it's
this is
fine.
all just fine. You know, we can.
In fact, this
we
is
can
basically
skate
Duel of the
through.
Dorks
Yeah, which I actually thought was really good. I think Duel of the Dorks is one of the more successful
story bits.
Yeah, story bits of doing that, as well as
and I
Loyalty and a few others.
Yeah, I agree with that as well. That and also a little bit much cock humor for me.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Little stroking off the saber to turn it on.
Yeah.
After the, I don't know. It's okay. It's all right.
I think sex jokes are the easiest place to go to, and therefore you should save them for last if you're going to do it at all.
Yeah.
And also, I mean,
I found their zombie dialogue amusing, sort of in a way they may not have intended, which is that it's at the beginning I feel like it's zombies, but by the end it's just they're kind of like like making up their own language, like going like it's not grunts anymore. It's just like a totally different.
Also, I thought they were
Are those masks?
I believe so.
Yeah. There's a shot
Dude,
from the
they
back
have-
where you can.
These are people. You can't talk about people like that.
and that's the masks are good.
I actually thought they were going to go
working.
full zombie at first. I thought they were going to be like lumbering zombies. It's more of
Right.
like just a makeup thing, less of them being actually zombies. Like
Sure.
you know.
But I mean, as the end
That
credits
lighting
evidence.
go.
Yeah.
Okay.
that
Yeah.
lighting though.
Right. Yeah. We should talk about that since we've got a little time here. No. But okay.
That was a cool little move right
Yeah,
there.
yeah.
There is a lot of really excellent little
Gems.
performances
Yeah.
in here,
Oh,
like
the kick's
awesome
coming.
little
that
moves.
one. I don't know. It's just the way they cut it. The editing was just so.
The going into slow mo on the kick
Yeah.
is pretty successful.
It's like that worked so well, and they do it again later in the fight. It's just like that. Just like
Yeah.
I like saw that. I'm like, yes, I like that.
They do a good job of mixing up.
That was needless.
There's a lot of needless
pretty.
flourishy
It's pretty.
stuff, but it is pretty. And I'm saying it does mix it up from
I
just
like that. See,
stick
look at-
bashing.
He just evaded his kick by like bringing up Tony Jaw like thing that me and Ricky do all the time, and then he kicked him. Like that was just really cool, and they shot all of that really well. It was clear. Sorry, I just
Yes.
had a fanboy. on
No,
that moment.
absolutely.
No, it's
There's a lot. There's great camera work in this too.
Right,
I think they got like a jib and a dolly or something because it's
yeah.
very smooth and nice and well composed, and the light's great. These light up sabers are just so. We have like 4 or 5 different entries this year that are like pretty predominantly lit by the saber props themselves, and it looks great, especially when you
kinda like
roto
the
it like
kicks
these
on the
guys. They did a very nice
Like
job.
that's cool. That's
Yeah.
fine. Like he's evading. That's cool.
Yeah, absolutely.
In the chat
Yeah, that's
room,
fine.
Nate says, "I never thought I'd see the day where there was too much dick humor for Ryan."
Really, I know you're even into dick humor. To begin with.
In person, it different. It's
Oh,
different.
Your,
Yeah.
your natural personal levels of dick jokes.
my
is higher.
taste in lightsaber fights is different from.
It's interesting that they
Oh,
use the
my
butterfly
lewd
kick
humor in
needlessly,
reality.
Uh-huh.
But then they thought to use the backflip at the perfect moment
Right.
to evade.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like when you did it in ours, I was because I was like cutting underneath you. Like that made sense. He just did it just to like rev
to
up his
do it.
attack, but he
Yeah.
didn't really rev up
That
his
was the
attack.
ugliest kip up I've ever seen.
I didn't see it.
Worse than mine in
You've done kip up
RVD1.
before? Oh yeah, you did. do
Yeah,
one
it's
on
pretty
that.
bad. It's pretty bad.
The kick
And
was
pointless.
ugly.
And very
I-
pointless.
That was good.
Mine.
No, that kick was ugly. I see. There's just a couple things here and there that I'm like, oh, if you guys just why didn't you spend more time on that? But then
They were running out of daylight.
It was fine for me.
There's this whole fight scene. Well,
But I'm not a martial
I've
arts
watched like
person.
a million kung fu movies.
Yeah,
so-
exactly. So you know,
But you're choosing to kind of
perfection.
enter into that turf when you drop the sabers and start, doing the,
Yeah,
the sort of
exactly.
formal. I mean, yeah, I'm with you.
See, that's
Yeah.
not bad.
Yeah, that's not bad at all.
The hand stuff is not bad.
By the way, a lot of this,
it's easier to fake the hand stuff than the foot stuff.
Yeah.
or the feet.
in terms of the polish on this, by the way,
Yeah.
I would have been
Oh, yeah.
really compelled to just drop
That was
terrible, giant, massively overdone
at the smoke back there. They're
color
doing.
shifting like grindhouse grain.
Oh, yeah,
you
yeah,
can't even
right.
see through, like impenetrable
Yeah,
grindhouse
yeah, yeah.
grain.
Right.
Or like we now present our
Like
special
the Planet
presentation.
Terror
Sure, yeah,
treatment
that
on it,
Tarantino New Beverly shit.
All this should have been dropped from the fight scene.
Yeah, it
The-
overstays the welcome. That's what it is. You have to make. I was talking about this in a podcast that you can't overstay your welcome with any fight scene. You have to want people to want more, not be like, okay, can we move on?
They're all
now?
cool
You know?
moves. They're all like
they're
creative.
all good, but you have to hold back
Yeah.
on that so that when at the end of the fight, we're like, oh, can I see more? Not like, okay, I've seen everything you could have possibly shown me. You've done every move.
To me,
you've
also,
learned.
That
yeah,
was a cool use of the butterfly
Yeah,
twist,
that
by
was
the
good.
way. Him evading the lightsaber.
yeah, it was good. And this little tree bit isn't bad. It's
Yeah,
that's
cool.
pretty good, right?
Yeah.
You know.
I know someone who had to get stitches in their neck because of a move like that.
Oh,
It was
really?
very
Are
dangerous.
they trying to do like
The
like flip off the wall thing?
Yeah, the tree is very dangerous. A very dangerous place to slip
So,
off of.
so one thing that just occurred to me about the going into the sort of hand-to-hand style is, what we were talking about earlier about building your intensity and all that kind of stuff. It's pretty difficult to enter into a set that is just hand-to-hand fighting from swinging plasma swords at each other. Like, it's sort of inherently pretty intense. You know, it's hard to keep that to go into that and not have it feel like a break in a certain sense. You know.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not a fan of the dick jokes either, but at least this guy's consistent about it. He's like, his whole thing.
true.
Oh, that's his character.
You're
That's his
privileged.
character.
Yeah, it's
You're
like,
privileged.
Oh yeah.
I'm gonna bang you. That's essentially what he's saying.
This is the only way I can get hard.
You're gonna get effed in the A by me and my
exactly.
saber.
I mean,
I get it. It's fine.
And
You know,
my
I'm just,
and my
you know,
DBLS.
it's cool.
but I'm usually the one to call out like being annoyed with those kinds of jokes.
Ricky pointed this out to me. Is anyone else shocked that we didn't see a single cross guard this year?
Like someone who holds the
with the exception of the end of this one for a second.
Oh,
for one
right.
second.
Yeah, but not,
Yeah, as
That's
actual
awesome.
as actual
Did you see
choreography.
that little
Yeah.
toss up
Yeah, I
with the
saw it,
lightsaber.
yeah.
I thought that was so cool.
Yeah, he,
Wait, do you mean like the person that walks out with the stop sign so that the kids can go
Okay,
to
good
school?
job.
What's the cross guard?
Oh, it's the new Kylo Ren. It's called the Plasma Blade, I believe. It's Plasma Saber officially.
Oh,
the Kylo Ren.
oh,
one.
and it's called that
Ace
it's called
Ventura reference. I got it.
yeah. the
So it's
the
called a
broadsword.
cross guard.
That's the name of the
That-
real sword. I don't know. That's
Right.
what they're
He's a
calling it.
zombie. He can't die.
Yeah, that one.
But no one did it. Even though we all saw the trailer and everybody knows
So-
it's going to be there.
Yeah.
That's great.
So
Yeah.
now it's
That one
okay,
actually
now
had
the
a red
dynamic is different. Now we're zombies. You can't
can't
actually just
die.
be killed.
Oh, we have
So
headshot.
what do you do? Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Right. So but it's in terms of exactly how it's utilized, they make a good joke out of it at the
Yeah.
end in that Monty Python sort of way. But
Yes.
But it would be interesting to actually have sort of sustained bits where it's like, oh well, he lost an arm. What do you do? He lost a leg. What do you do?
Nah.
Are you laughing about the jig right now?
Oh no, well there's that too, but just the chat is getting amusing.
It's getting a little X-rated over there.
Oh, because of what's happening.
Well,
Yeah.
Nate's drinking beers because he's Nate, and Mickey's examining the plausibility of various zombie boners.
Yep.
Various zombie boners, by the way, was the name of never mind.
That was your third album? Was that what that was?
Yeah, like right now, I'm just
Yeah.
like, I can't. The fight should be over. At
Yeah,
this point.
it's
I don't
going-
need
it's-
any
it's
more.
I keep
overstaying
coming
its
back to how
welcome.
badass I agree. The fight. This should have been 5 minutes long at most, but still, the fucking lighting. Sorry, I mean to curious. I know. Sorry,
It's way cool.
But the lighting is
No,
so amazing
yeah.
with the glowing sabers, and I for one welcome the new future because
Oh yeah, they're
the interactive
it's
lighting that's going to be happening. Is that what you're referring
so
to?
cool. I just think
yeah.
it's wonderful that we can do this now.
Oh yeah.
I mean, it used to be you had to think hard to figure out how you were going to make this happen, and now we're getting more and more props that can do variations on it, and I think it looks great.
It's almost over.
You see the back of his mask.
It's all
Yeah,
funny.
yeah,
This is
yeah.
pretty good. But like, get to this faster, like.
How do you guys feel about the effects on the arms?
Meh.
Oh, whatever.
Yeah, it's
they're-
fine. It's fine.
They're the prop hands are fleshy. And that's good.
This should have been way earlier.
Yeah, right, exactly.
They
They
should
shouldn't got to this
they,
already.
They should have done a whole.
Jack
there.
White has arrived.
There he is.
Gong 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 gong.
Like the little treatment on the blade. To
Why attack right there? There's one guy there and one guy there. Why the blades? No.
I would have liked it
Because they knew they were cutting
I
out
would have liked it if they cut off like the
Saberforge.com.
majority of their choreography earlier. Like take out all that hand
Composite
stuff,
effects.
Yeah.
and actually tried to have a fight
Okay.
scene with the lightsabers in their mouth.
Oh yeah.
Like that would have been
interesting.
That would have been like funny to me if they actually went for it.
That's the kind of thing that would at least force you to do creative stuff.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Because
It's like
the-
it's
you know.
exploring new territory.
Actually, that occurs to me. Maybe that's an interesting way. If you can't think of if you're standing there, you're trying to figure out a sequence, and you can't come up with anything, just give one of you a weird injury, and it's like now you have to fight around that. Go
Yeah.
figure something out, and that might give you like I can't do this, but I would have to do something like this. Oh wait, and then like it unlocks a new idea.
Yeah.
Yeah, so weird injuries or just weird limitations. That's fun. Mm-hmm. You guys want to keep on moving, or you got anything more to talk about zombies?
Oh no, I'm good.
Zombies. I think
in
we
fifth
had
place.
ample time to
Fifth
talk.
place.
Yeah, we had a
about
lot of time to do it.
Seems like everyone had zombies on their list.
You know, I think that even taking what's there, if they just cut out
Yeah,
stuff,
they already have it there. She just
yeah, exactly.
Break it
Just
down.
condense that to like 4 minutes.
Turn into almost a reel of the best little moments.
exactly.
You know, like-
exactly.
that's
I
where
think
you need an editor because
That would to me be more shareable. You know what I mean? Like I would be more like, oh yeah, look, yeah, check this out, as opposed to like, I always think about when I send it something. I was like, well, this is gonna
Let
strain
me
their
preface this. It's a little
interest
bit
or-
long, but there are bits in there that
But
are
check
great.
it out. There's really good stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah, right.
that kind
exactly.
of thing.
Because you don't want to cry wolf with your social media sharing, and then no one wants to watch the next thing you share.
Exactly.
So you have to make sure that every single thing is 100% shareable.
Right.
So
And that's all that matters.
right. So pick your best 5 minutes, y'all. But
the phrase
you know.
that comes back to
But
mind
those guys have a jillion subscribers on YouTube. I'm sure they're fine.
So they're doing good.
They
the
seem
phrase,
they're doing
the phrase
okay.
that comes back to mind is killing your babies.
Yeah, kill your babies,
You
and that's
know.
what I'm saying. Like, I
Or
think
just
they
any
probably-
babies. His babies, their babies, any babies.
Let us be clear. We are endorsing
Literally
murdering
kill
infants.
This has
Killing
become
humans.
a political conversation.
Yeah.
You're supposed to literally kill humans.
That's why I think it's always best to have a impartial editor, or at least become impartial while you are editing. I
guy
have
with
a
a
very
saw.
good feeling that whoever shot that,
Right.
or whoever performed in that,
Right.
did the editing as well. So they kept all those things. Like, oh, remember how long it took us to do that? Oh, remember how cool and like it took us like 3 hours to get that shot. Let's put that in there. We have to.
Whereas like a
Versus-
state assigned editor would come in and be like, nah, no.
Right,
And, like,
exactly.
shape it
Someone
down.
who just comes right in, just sees the footage, just like,
Sure.
okay, that works. I take that out. No, we took 2 hours. No, take that out. Like that's the
So
pacing.
just to be clear, Antoine endorses a state-mandated baby killer. Moving right along. Number 4, and here we go. Now remember, there's still a tie that we haven't gotten to yet, so we actually have 5 movies left. But number 4, with 25 total points, Exile.
This was exactly number 4 on my list. Once again, I don't know what's going on. Maybe
I
was
gave this more
really
points
good.
than I should have.
You know, you're like the center, and then we all just fluctuated
Oh,
around
got
that.
me.
I guess
I'm the
that's
most
really what
consistent.
happens. Yeah.
I gave this a lot of points because it felt like a movie. It felt like
Right.
it felt
No,
so
that-
well done.
And that's anything
You know,
Maxwell and his gang do. Like,
It's like the choreography had context to go off of.
Right.
It's like, yes, the choreography was short, but it made sense within the confines of the story that they had.
Right.
Good Lord, look at this cinematography.
I know. They made a movie.
Remember
It's
back like
they
10
always
years
make
ago when
movies.
we were like ordering the XL1 from England because it had 25 frames per second,
That's right.
720 by 405,
Yeah, we would have.
and you would have to trick everyone you'd ever met to get a bokeh to happen once.
Yeah.
Is that a prime lens? Is that what they're using? That's my guess.
The only thing I didn't like about this
Pretty-
piece is the car stuff. Like,
Yeah,
it
the
took you
car's
out- it took you
weird.
out of the Star
I agree
Wars.
that the car's weird. I said that exact same thing. I was like,
Just
right.
mat it out and put a freaking speeder in there.
yeah, exactly.
It's easy.
I know it's easy.
I'm also surprised that the lady with the purple hair doesn't have a purple saber. I'll say it.
Oh, hey, yeah, she had an orange saber, so it's not like
That
she's
ruined it
specific
for
or anything.
Teague.
Would have sold more toys. That's all I'm saying.
Well, yeah. No, this is. I
And
think
her name is Violet. You're welcome.
Yeah. This one is firing all cylinders in every sort of corner of the filmmaking
Right,
aspect.
and this is
Yeah,
perhaps one of the more I don't know if it's the best. 'cause I can't
Exile. I
remember.
mean, this is one of those where everyone voted on it, and it's on the like top half of everyone's list.
yeah.
right.
And this is part of the reason why in future years I would suggest and recommend some way of acknowledging and weighting
People who
all
do
these
really
other
good job
aspects,
with
because this,
filmmaking.
you know,
Because you get to the point where it's like there's things about this that are we've never seen it done better in this contest,
Mm-hmm.
and also things where it's like, oh well, also we have to judge this, we have to judge that.
Right.
But
I love-
this as a
yeah.
scene is really cool.
I love the idea of a little EMP pulse that sort
Yep.
of knocks out all the weaponry. Like that's super interesting.
Also very clear editing most
There's
of the
nothing
time.
superfluous in the fight scenes. That's
Yeah.
what I liked about
It's
it.
very
It's
compact
just
and efficient.
Straight to the point.
Yeah,
It's-
and so much
By
so
the way-
that to me, we do not actually get all that much lightsaber choreography.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, it's used as a.
but sometimes that's okay. Like,
No, it is. It's absolutely okay. I mean, because it's exactly what it needs to do in that moment, in that scene, and then
Yes.
it's to the next thing, and
Yeah.
you're moving along. you
That
know?
guy has dead on Star Wars hair.
Yeah, he really does. No, he really does.
Right down the middle, all star.
Yeah, it's very true. I probably only have one other entry that I prefer the actual editing to. As a total, like, I
God,
guess
these
short,
are pretty.
I guess
Look at
this
these
one-
shots. These are amazing.
I know the shots really great.
A lot of
this
desktops
is
in this.
definitely the best movie
Right
entry.
I think that's what I was trying to say. Is that
this year.
Yeah, this is the best movie.
Well, the Princess
entry.
Bride was number 11.
But in terms of the
because
fight
it didn't have the long enough fight. You're okay.
In terms of the fight scene editing, there was one other one that I preferred in terms of just the editing of the fight. But this
Right.
one I would probably say is the most overall, even with the pacing of the story and the fight.
performances are great too.
Yeah,
you know,
that's
you,
what-
just
they're
the
always good with
acting,
performances. Oh,
you
they're
know,
always
yeah,
good.
they're great,
They're
dynamite.
fantastic.
The
But
gr-
now,
the
so
grade
that's an
is amazing,
example.
too.
See,
Good
to
job.
What's up?
I'm sorry. I don't mean to overtalk, but the grade is amazing too.
I was just gonna start to compare this to Loyalty.
Same group.
It's the same group, right?
Same
but
group.
I'm saying, as in terms of like, these clearly have different objectives for what they're trying to do with the film, and I think they probably feel pretty good about how they hit it. I think they nailed what they were going for. I mean, for me, as having to be a judge in critiquing based on like the saber choreography, I feel like something like Loyalty
cool right there.
gives you a lot more to chew on. There's a lot more
Locking
meat there
her and
in the
him.
moves
Yeah.
and everything.
Original
You know,
Anthony.
the double block, the double.
Yeah, I thought that was sick. I was like, I've never seen that before.
It's
That's cool.
it's
nice.
very clever.
Yeah.
It's very cool.
And cinematic. It's very cinematic. The way they shot it too, they made that very clear.
Mm-hmm.
This part, she doesn't have to lift her hand up. She has a lightsaber. You can just.
But
go
she's
right-
getting ready.
I know.
It's dramatic.
I know, it's
dramatic. Everything else is so awesome in this. I'm like,
It's okay. It's okay. That's fine.
It's amazing what you will forgive when it's like you're totally into it.
It's very true.
You know?
Very true.
And
You
it's hard to
forgive a
get to
lot
that
if
point,
You do it
but-
very well.
Except for car stuff.
Yeah. Except for car stuff.
They're also doing a good job of being sort of clear about where everybody's at and what they're trying to do.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Even though for her we're having a whole dialogue-less conflict of interest and sort of, you know, coming back around all that stuff. It's like you're kind of like, oh, you better get back there. That dude's not gonna make it. He's
Yeah.
gonna get his hair cut off.
That's true.
Yeah.
There is
His
another.
hair.
There's another car lightsaber fight, or no, it was a short film when people were really making like full-length fan films back in the day. I forget what it's called. Ryan, do you remember what it was? It's about like real life people if they had the Force.
To
And-
know a Jedi. Is that
Yes,
right?
thank you. That's what it is.
Yeah, that
To
was
Know a
Derek
Jedi.
Lakes. That was
This-
Derek Lakes.
This totally has that vibe to me with the car thing, where it's like, but they didn't really play up the whole thing that this is in
Yeah.
real life. It's like there are characters like pirates or something like that,
Man.
scavengers. But that could have worked well if it was just like kids who had real Force powers and now they're just dealing with it, and that this is what we're seeing, and that's the car thing could have worked in that context.
That's a well-used Novus. You know how you know? It's because it's got all the wear on the emitter is down to just the bars, and they lost the bottom O-ring off the thing. That's hard to do.
I
You
like-
got to
I-
really be working
I hadn't
hard.
even noticed they were novices.
I
That's
like
funny.
that kick to the back of the knee and then slicing into his back at the same
Yeah.
time. I thought that was
Oh
really
yeah.
well done.
Yeah.
It's the only way you can get to sleep at
And
night.
look, they're using close-up, guys. Like, this is how important close-ups are. Look at, we can see exactly what's going on in her face.
And her makeup,
Right.
which is also awesome.
The emotional state of the characters is very clear.
Right,
And it's
exactly.
not questionable. Like, you get it.
Yep.
Absolutely.
That's what I liked about it.
Yeah, for sure.
And this is well
didn't
cut.
like these-
So here we go. This is good. This is.
like this choreography is great. It's- I don't know.
I would have
Back
liked a
the
little
elbow
more.
to the
So
back.
far, I think if I was going to share one of the movies that we've seen so far, I would be sharing this one.
Yeah.
I was
This
gonna
is,
say
this is really like hitting a lot of cylinders.
There's another one that I would share that we're coming up.
Look how
and
intense that
another
girl.
one-
Look at her
another
face.
one.
Like she wants to
We got more.
fucking. Excuse
Yeah.
me. She wants to murder this girl. She
Yeah,
really
and I like her.
does.
This villain with the purple hair, blue hair.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's really good. And I like how she starts off saying like, "Hey, you can still come
You
be
just
part
like
of our
chicks with
gang."
blue hair.
Do I like that?
I know. I was just.
oh, you're saying
I
general.
like how you're like, wait a second, is something lining up?
Yeah,
No,
no,
something isn't lining
And
up.
that's so good. That's such a small thing,
Yeah.
but like I don't know, that's just a huge
That
ode
touch.
to like kung fu.
It's very
type
martial
things.
artsy.
Placing,
Yeah.
place,
Yeah.
setting up
Right.
your balance,
Yeah,
getting your
yeah,
purchase
yeah.
with the ground. Very small thing, but something I appreciate.
What? And used at the right place at the end to sort of set you up for the final exchanges.
I just
what
like how
happened
you're
over here.
like having a fangasm over here.
Oh,
over
he
the-
is.
Over someone's someone's
over the
foot just
footstep and everything. I'm like, I'm with you. It's totally awesome.
Yeah.
I like how I accused you of like there's the blue hair and you like had to check your soul for a second. Like, wait, do I? Oh no, not really. I don't care.
Well,
just like that moment of like, wait a
I
second.
did date a girl once who always changed her hair, and one of her hair colors was blue. So I was like, wait a minute, maybe
That
why-
shot right there, that's
Yeah,
amazing.
yeah,
that should be
so
the first
great.
shot in an indie movie about how she accidentally killed her younger brother.
Yeah.
Well, now this shot, this
This feels borrowed from The Last of Us. Did you ever play The
Yep,
Last of Us?
yep,
It
yep.
feels like it's
Yep.
taken straight out of that game, lifted shot for shot.
By the way, why don't you guys make movies? Like, I know you guys do a lot of fan films, but I would like you guys to really make some original content. I think you guys have the chops to do it. And
Watch the answer be, we do. We've
And
been,
I've never seen
we've been trying to get people to talk
No,
about
she's
them,
got
but
like
they'll
a-
only talk about our lightsabers.
she's got a production company.
yeah, they do. But I've never seen that. I mean, I've seen their Hunger Games. I've seen the Star Wars stuff. I like to see some original stuff, man.
That's
Like, do
really,
it. You
really
guys can
good.
do it.
The short choreography is really cool to me. For some reason, it reminds me of Collateral. That scene when Tom Cruise kills those guys in the alley.
Oh,
It's just
yeah.
like bang, 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 and it's like over in a second. But
how
that's
it's
so
like.
much more effective than a long gun shootout. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm
I
saying?
would. I would still want to make a lightsaber fight that is less than a minute long. That's one of my plans to just do that.
Uh-huh.
Ryan, we have to know if Novus is a Greek or Latin because we're trying to figure out how we pluralize it. Is it
Novi?
Novus,
Novi.
Novi, or Novum?
That's a good question.
Novum.
It is Latin.
You got Novi, right?
I think I've said that before, but
Novapod.
I don't know.
Novapod.
You know what?
Where did you rank this one?
Yeah.
The same place. You mean
Third.
That last
Exile?
Novices?
No, Exile wasn't third.
Novus,
You ranked it third.
Novus
Oh, I
is
did?
Novi. Novin.
No, that's Ryan. Ryan ranked it third.
I had it third.
I had mine
It was
fourth.
my
I had mine
number
fourth.
3.
You had
Exactly-
it fourth.
exactly
I had it
what
in
it
number 2.
You had it number 2.
In
loved
the chat room,
It's great. It's
the
great.
team says we got stuff. We got stuff coming up in terms of original content movies.
do it.
Good job, y'all.
Original stuff.
That's good.
Good job,
That's
y'all.
good.
You guys ready?
Oh, they're
to-
watching us right now?
That's,
Everybody,
That's,
like,
that's the
most
only
of
way
the
they can fall
people
asleep
are.
at night, Anthony.
Okay.
Ready to move on to number.
I want to work with the people who made Exile. I thought it was phenomenal.
Get in touch, y'all.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is our tie.
This is our time. So
How are we
the
watching what first?
oh should let's slow turn it. We're just gonna say one of the ties.
What's she saying to you or him?
What?
Or
What?
he?
What's my name?
Antoine,
All right,
you could,
and so
Antoine,
you could beat me in 1 minute. I'm sure.
oh, someone, the King Cole's just saying that.
Oh, I see.
I'm awesome.
All
That's
right.
all.
So
I'm not that awesome in real life. Sorry.
all right. So
It's King Cole. I mean, you know.
the first of two movies tied for third place. Force Storm.
Okay, is that the first one we're watching? I don't know. Is that what's queued up?
I'm doing
got
it in the
Force Storm
order
training.
that he
All
has
right, cool.
right there.
Why? Who ranked this over Exile?
I
We
did
got
not-
Eddie. Eddie didn't like Exile very much. He put Force Storm in third place and Exile in eighth.
Who liked Force Storm Training?
Let me see.
Everyone kind of has that up at sort of the top half of their thing.
I put it in number 4.
I have it in number 4.
Yeah. And so did Anthony and Ryan have it in 4.
Another beautiful film.
Where did you put it?
by the
Seven.
way.
Oh yeah, this one.
Look at this
I forgot
stuff.
what this
I
is
just
called.
thought it was creative.
There's-
it was like
yeah. For me, it's just it's very short. I mean,
Yeah.
there's not a lot of it, you know. Okay, they're kids. I get. Yeah, is that what you're like?
No.
Is that what,
Oh,
okay.
Well,
That's-
no,
I just
actually,
it reminded me of Tiny Toons, and there was a film festival thing, and then Plucky had the shortest film of all, and that's the one that won. It was like literally it started, and then there was credits, and then it won first place.
Dude, this reminded me of your kid fight. Actually,
my kid fight.
your kid fight, the dojo one.
Is that where you
Okay.
like
You
strapped
weren't
razor
in it,
blades
but,
to your
like, it was
kids'
like
legs and
the
just threw them pin
instructor
together?
with the two students, and I was like, oh man, what if Anthony did this? That would be pretty
Right.
cool, you know. And
Right.
it's actually very similar because he's also a stunt guy. I don't know if you do know Noah at all.
I don't know.
I'm sure you
Noah.
got some mutual friends.
You guys,
'cause, you know.
these shots, and there's a
This-
few moments where the
all very-
photography and the color correction come together. This is classic 4K TV at Best Buy sample material.
right.
This is gorgeous.
This is how you advertise the new Samsung.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
All these
Right.
moves are very, very traditional sport karate moves that you see in like the circuit a lot. People do those moves over and over again in between
Right.
tricks.
And that's the reason why I put this one on my list, is because it's very well performed in the sense of
Right.
they have control of their bodies.
Also, that guy looks like
Definitely.
the guy looks like a Disney prince.
he does.
He's got, like-
he's very
just
cheap.
like-
I know
yeah.
you guys don't flip.
Like classical face.
I know
He's
you guys,
really hot. That's what I'm saying. Hi, hot guy.
I know you guys don't flip, but flipping
Like, that's
on,
cool.
on the beach is a lot harder than flipping anywhere else.
I'm very sure you're stuck. The
Yeah.
hand
Isn't
like
it
the
more,
sand.
is it
holds
more
you.
forgiving if you accidentally screw up though? Because sand is soft.
Probably, but it's still so hard. Like that right there, even though that was kind of ugly, was still impressive.
Just because when you're trying to push away, the sand just gives.
yeah, it's like
Yeah.
it's not easy. It's not easy at all. And they're in the water and whatnot. I mean, that environment to me is just it feels gross. And I give them a lot of kudos for having
That
a
was
fight
kind of
scene
cool.
that-
Oh, this little kid on
Just
just
tossed
sand
him.
like he was nothing.
Oh yeah, they're just.
That was great.
Knocking
That's
all
probably
over
my
the
favorite
place.
bit of choreography that they did. It was him just grabbing his leg and tossing
She
it.
took that hit pretty
What?
well.
Yeah, one little. Thank you, by the way, sister in the chat. She's like, totally looks like a Disney prince. I know. That's why I said it. I was right. Also, fun fact: when you're done with the movie, then put the letterbox on.
Yeah, yeah.
Right.
Put the letterbox on last,
Pro
because
tip.
otherwise your
Pro tip.
lightsaber glows will go over the letterbox.
You might have to explain if they don't know what the
The black
letterbox is.
lines in the top and bottom of the screen. The lightsaber glows keep going over it, and that's really charming, because it's a classical. It's been happening for years and years. Oh yeah, I gotta fade this back over. Yep, sorry.
That's the whole thing.
Yeah, sorry. No, it was just funny. That's all. That's a sexy little fight scene, you guys.
Very much so. Very well performed. I mean, I'm just not generally accustomed to seeing kids with that much craft into their movement.
It's kind of like
you know.
Haley Joel Osment with words.
whatever.
They were with their
Wow.
What a
They were
reference.
with
What
their,
a throwback.
martial arts. I mean, what is
Wow.
that? Most of these kids in here are probably like kids. They don't know who's Haley Joel Osment. I don't get his
That
joke.
fat guy?
He's that old guy, right?
I know he's totally fat now. Did you see this movie he's in? It's called Sex Ed.
No, I
it's like so
didn't see it.
awkward. Yeah.
He was
Sorry.
in
Sixth Sense.
Entourage. He was the,
Oh, was he?
Yeah, he was the bad guy in Entourage.
Very
Are you
cool.
thinking of no? That's an Asian guy, Lloyd, right? You're thinking of Lloyd. Haley Joel Osment. That wasn't him.
In the movie version of Entourage, Haley Joel Osment is the bad guy.
He plays Lloyd.
I don't know, but he's the kid who's
I'm
trying to mess
kidding.
up.
I don't know
everything.
either.
I was deliberately trying. It was one of those. Never mind. Didn't work at
Yeah.
all. Bad comedy. Let's move on. It's a tie for number 3. The other one, which Mickey rightly points out because I didn't fade fast enough, you guys already saw, is Reunion. Tied for third.
Reunion.
Both Force Storm Training and Reunion got 27 points each.
Mm-hmm.
So both
You put this at number 1.
Yeah, and then after reviewing, I was like,
I put this at number 9.
Probably not gonna be number 1.
Ryan,
I was
Wow, it's really-
my eyes were glossed over
Split
by
the-
its beauty.
No, it's true.
Yeah.
3, 2, 1 on
there's,
pause.
There's a big part of that. Yeah. Okay. You
Yeah,
can
this
see
is-
their modified
in
logo.
the vein
yeah.
of being
Here
very
we go.
shareable, I find this to be extremely shareable.
I do too.
For just being like,
Yeah.
just look at a
Creative,
very
it's
beautiful.
different.
This
fight.
has already been shared on
A
the
live
Friends in
action
Your Head
anime.
forum. Like I saw this the other day.
Someone separately, not
posted-
even-
Oh no, yeah, not this. I'm not saying like that.
That's crazy.
Someone just
It's
coming and
all
going,
on-
hey, you guys would like this.
Yes, exactly.
Right.
Talk about your shareable.
Yeah, no, to
It's
me,
just
I really appreciate it as a film. For me, visually, what works about it is sort of the whole treatment. The schmutz really makes it so you don't even really, you just stop caring about what was actually there and what wasn't. And it's nice to kind of get lost
That
in
fire.
the aesthetic of
Nice.
it.
Well
know?
done.
And what happens?
But also when the swings and that sort of anime, the trails that they
Sure.
do and stuff, it's like, that looks awesome.
and they go up in the sky and start fighting like Dragon Ball Z style. It's
Right.
like awesome. But yeah, like that's a really good way of getting away with having a 3D set because it's hard to pull that off and make it look photoreal.
Exactly.
Just put this whole layer of anime style on top of it, and that's perfect.
So
You
what
know?
What happens for me is then
Absolutely.
you've created this little world for yourself visually. Now how do you exploit it? How are you going to leverage it and utilize it? And they do some fun things like cutting through the pillars, coming up a little
Yep.
later, and then all the ghosts. I'm spoiling it, I guess, if you haven't seen it
Yeah.
here. But we can get into that later. But
And even like that little camera motion, it's really subtle. That little camera motion, but
Yeah,
it goes
exactly.
a long way.
yeah.
Long way.
Where did you get? How, if you're in
Going
the
out
chat,
to the Y.
are all the little swipey things and the smoke poofs? Are those like sampled from you found an anime somewhere, or are you creating the swipies? Because it almost looks like you'd have to be somehow
They're creating
it's-
that.
It's another bad guy with a cape, by the way.
No
True.
capes.
It's true.
It's just so polished. This is extremely polished fight.
And I wouldn't call it stiff. You know, they really are getting into these swings, but it's mostly pretty simple.
I
you
think
know,
these guys entered once, and they were. It was on.
This is cool,
Yeah,
though.
it was the stage combat one.
This is cool.
When they were actually on a stage, and I think they're those.
Oh, is
they're-
this that team really?
I think so. And then that's the thing about stage performers. Their intent is if you go to like Knights of the Round Table or if you just watch a stage performance of Shakespeare, they are really good at showing intent with their fight. And I feel like
because it's got to really read clearly.
Right.
Yeah,
There's two
right.
worlds. There's people who do extremely fast, like the episode 3, Anakin versus Obi-Wan. There's that, and then you have stage performers who are extremely intent, but maybe it's a little bit too slow, and you're like, hey, come on, like, let's see this fight, like speed up. They kind of have it where they're almost in the middle. They're a little bit more towards the stage performance side, where it's more intent than there is, I guess, speed to it.
Yeah.
But it's really something that it's a skill that I prefer. I'd rather see intent and have these movements rather than having the fast. Like,
How
I don't
did
know
you
what's
do
going on.
this?
Yeah, this is cool. This is straight up an anime right now.
I'll show you. Da 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 da. All right. Sorry.
Someone should really dub this over. Oh no, there's no dialogue in it, and just put like anime, like some Japanese person that they know, and like have it dub over.
It's just like,
Animasiku no
You can still have a
ya!
Japanese guy.
No,
do
that's
the
not Japanese. That
grunts.
was gibberish, by the way.
You can have a Japanese guy do the grunts.
Yeah, but Japanese eyes of the grunts.
Right.
they have some
Japanese
anime
grunts are definitely
music.
different than American grunts.
What they did
They are.
do with the music that they did has this sort of like operatic kind of feel to it, which is sort of interesting. It's more like it's a legend, it's a story, it's a fable, you know, which sort of
Very much.
works
Do you
with
guys
the
watch
aesthetics.
Avatar:
so.
Legend of Korra?
negative.
No one watched that.
I watched the first season.
There's
I
an
think.
episode like this where they go back to the first Avatar that was ever created, and it was very much in this vein of like storybook, right out of a page of a.
Are you talking about the
folklore.
two-parter episode going
Yep.
back to the? I love that.
Yes.
I love
Going back to
that.
the beginning of Avatar, this is exactly that style right here, and it's so beautiful.
Yeah, Apsis has made Inversions, Jedi, and Black Sands. Thank you, Apsis.
Oh, okay, so
Black
they
Sand.
weren't.
And
just
I remember
performers.
specifically remember Jedi. You've done a lot of cool
Jedi.
stylish stuff.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah, this is awesome. So,
Yeah.
I
He
for
totally
me,
was Super Saiyan right there.
Again, similar to Exile, having to be a judge on the saber choreography competition, I was kind of hungering for just a little more
Right.
complexity and intricacy in the exchanges of the actual just sword to sword kind of stuff. But as a film,
As a thing to make.
you know, this is one of my
It's
favorites,
super solid.
you know,
Yeah.
big time. And I
Super solid.
I placed it. I placed it.
It was
up
super
here.
creative and well done. But there was something missing from it. I don't know what it is.
It was the fight. That's what it was.
Live action?
No.
No. It was the fight
there was something
itself.
just missing. I can't figure it out.
Anthony hates cartoons.
No.
No, I know what you're talking about, Anthony. I think it's the fight itself that.
It's like
If
it's
that was
almost there.
perfect-
Yeah, it's almost
Yeah.
there, but I'm like, oh, something's. I don't know what it is.
No. You guys ready to move on? I was going to make a joke, but I've
Any
already made
further
enough
thoughts?
weird, edgy joke. Guys, that's an awesome short.
Yeah, I know. It's
Right.
great. It's crazy.
super,
awesome.
super cool. Shall we move on here?
Oh.
Right.
Now this one, before
All
we
right.
announce it, could have easily been number one
Yeah.
had it not had things that we'll talk about,
All right.
things and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, these last two were pretty close.
Mm-hmm.
All right, number 2,
Here we go.
Escape from Cowan.
Cohen.
Cowing?
I pronounce it.
Cowan?
I think it's
I
AO, right?
pronounce it.
Oh, it's
Janice.
Oops, I put OA.
Escape from Janice is how I pronounce it.
Oh yeah,
AO.
Cowan.
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 All right, cool. All right, guys. You guys
Antoine,
have
it's real talk time.
the best choreography this contest had so far, and that was what I was speaking about before, having the most intricate and creative choreo for me.
I would agree. And actually,
Of all the other fights.
To be fair, this is my number 1 pick on my list. This is actually
Yeah, it's
I
up
put
in
it
the-
almost was my number one.
This is in the top 5 for everybody.
This was my
and
number
it's in
2.
It's in the top 3 for everyone but Eddie.
Yeah.
And
Eddie
so
just hates weird words, so
I feel
Cowan
like
was a
it-
bad call.
For me, it fell short at the end. I was like, why did
Yeah,
they?
the ending was kind of
I'm
some.
like, nah. Why did you do that? For
Right.
me, I like Exile better still because
No.
there's established characters in there and you're seeing the intention from that position.
Right.
If that makes any sense. Whereas this is just it's creative stick bashing.
K-On.
Exactly, and
From
that's
the chat.
exactly. Oh, this is in London, isn't it?
Chaos.
Because isn't that the place in Harry Potter where he flew by? with
I thought
that-
it looked like
the Order
end
of the Phoenix.
I thought it looked like the end of Mission Impossible 4.
Wait, Order of the Phoenix. That's where they went invisible and
I
then they
thought
flew
they
by.
were. I thought they
Well,
were like Russian. Or
Yeah, I thought it was.
something,
But
Oh, maybe it is Russia. Okay, never mind.
whatever the case is, it's creative dancing.
But right,
basically.
okay. So that's the thing I was trying when I was talking about editing and camera and how it has to be a part of your choreography. You guys have the choreography bit down pat. There's a few parts that I think weren't like that wasn't very clean, but
But even
But
emotionally,
boy, they're really
and
into
yes,
it,
yeah.
and the
And that too.
the intensity and the
I
performance
don't
is
know
really
who's really
quite
winning
good.
right now. I don't know.
exactly.
Okay, that's good.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
I don't know who to care for. I don't know who I'm afraid for right now.
Mm-hmm.
It's just really nice looking.
It's fun to watch.
It's a very pretty woman.
Well, it's like a very pretty woman. Yes,
It's like a
but she
dance.
has nothing.
and
in
she
her
doesn't
brain.
know how to smile for some reason.
Right, exactly.
So which is great because you're starting with the hardest part, and then the rest you can figure out how to get those right angles
Right.
that really
See,
show
like-
it off. You can figure out how to build that character into it and get into these close-ups and do what you have to do.
It didn't feel like it built up to that
To him
moment. It just
escaping.
kind of
To
happened.
him being outplayed.
Yeah,
Like,
it
I
just
didn't-
kind of is a static tone the whole time, and then it is over.
Right.
Yes.
It doesn't
And
have a.
The effect of the ending there was that.
I'm guessing they're Russian.
Yeah, I've seen that
There's been
too.
Russians in London.
Directed by Crazy Russians team.
And Zvaks, I'm not gonna do that because I was screwed up his name so bad.
But it's beautiful choreography. I gave it number 2.
Moscow.
The
Gorky
intensity
Park. Thank you.
from the wide angles was pretty apparent.
Right.
But when they got to their faces, it didn't look like anything was happening.
And they have it there, like they have those close-ups there, but there's nothing behind them. Like you said,
That's-
it's like
that's
a
what I'm
pretty
saying.
woman that has nothing going on
Yeah,
behind.
it's just empty.
Yeah, it's just empty basically.
Damn.
And like at the end there, like I guess like if we were from a story standpoint, he left because he was outmatched, he was outskilled, but.
It wasn't clear.
Going through that,
Yeah.
I didn't even realize you were losing. You guys
Right.
were just like literally, he just
Right.
left, and I was like,
Right.
oh well, you weren't really. You guys were pretty even kilter there, and
Right.
I didn't feel like he was like
But
he
the-
needed to escape at that point.
The thing is, they're so close to what you need in a fight scene. It's just like an extra couple of steps, and then they're there.
Right, exactly. They
You
just
know?
need like a director like you to be like, hey, let's like get some motivation in here.
Right.
All right,
yeah,
so-
just crafting the overall sort of flow and experience of the thing, I think, is really the other
Oh, yeah.
dimension that because otherwise it is all there. You know, they're ready to go.
Yeah.
Right.
It's awesome.
You guys want to do this?
Oh wait,
we go.
we're already at number one.
We're number one.
Already number 1.
See, wasn't that fun? We work our way up and just
Yeah,
you know,
like
we got
it.
Let us
anticipation.
know. And we're not just saying leave a comment, but like literally leave a comment and let us know if you think this is a cool way to do it. We'll do it in the future this way. So, Ryan, you ready to press play? Number 1, the winner of LCC 13, Brothers Quarrel.
And he just came back from peeing.
I
peed.
Just
Continue.
in time.
If I'm not
Hey,
mistaken,
also, Nate, what's up with this title? You know you're better than that.
Oh,
What is that?
is this the
real talk?
is this the first time that Nate's won this contest here?
Nate every
he's
time
entered,
he's entered
like 25 times.
He's always gotten third place. So
Always.
I imagine.
And we already had a tie in third. We could have put him in there with the tie with the third.
if he wasn't drinking already, he's
Now-
Those epic
celebrating now.
sweeping shots from up high is
Yeah. Those
beautiful.
drone shots?
Yeah.
Now
Yeah.
here's the thing. This is the thing that I think will win you this contest usually is having
Nepotism? Yeah, I said it. I said it.
is having continued quality through all those categories. Not having super good choreography
That's
like
right.
we just had for
That's right.
our
That's
last
right.
one. Not having very good production value like we have for some of them. It's being consistent.
This is
with
a
each and
well-rounded
every category.
Everything's
Absolutely.
here.
Right.
Also, not very long. Which
And
you'd
not very
think would be
long.
like a why this is so short? Why did
That's
it
what
make more
every
fight? But it's-
woman wants
but-
to see.
But yeah, man, you wanted to see someone who's got good movement and a good face, good intensity, not too long,
Not too long.
Not too long,
and fairly good effects.
but not too short either.
Not
Right?
too short.
Choreography,
That's weird.
though it's kind of simple, it's solid. Performance, definitely there. They definitely have the intent. Editing highlights every move that needs to be there.
Yeah, this is a good fight. I like this
The
fight.
the shots themselves,
It feels
Nothing's-
very much like an homage to Ryan versus Dorkman, doesn't it?
really?
Yeah, I mean, for me, it does. Just
It's
for,
way- it's more
what
kinetic,
about it?
Just
I
the
think.
color?
I don't know.
The lights
the
and the
outfits-
colors?
What is his
they're
outfit?
both
Oh,
white.
well, there's the
color,
lightsaber
okay.
colors.
Oh, whoa! You're right. Look at his outfit.
Yeah.
Holy shit, you're right.
That just occurred to everyone?
Yeah.
Was that intentional?
No, it's absolutely
No.
no. I know for him because he is pissed off and saying every time someone says that, he's like, "That's just a coincidence."
Oh, wow.
That was just the evolution of
I
this
just
whole little thing.
realized that right now.
He usually has the tie. Does he have the tie on in
No,
this
no
one?
tie,
He's got
no
the
tie in
pixel
this
tie.
one.
That's
No,
his
the
thing.
tie was reunion and enforced. Just kidding.
I wonder how many times those glasses fell
And even
off.
okay, and we passed it before, but there was a moment where they had short close-ups, like his brother, he like turns on his lightsaber and goes like that,
lightning was so cool.
and then Nate goes like this, and then it's like short push-ins, like really quick push-ins.
Yeah.
That's really in a fight scene. That's how long your close-up should be. It really, I mean, sometimes you want to do longer ones if it's like this.
It keeps
The-
it moving.
The showdown at the end.
It's only
But
what it
when
needs
it's
to be.
midway,
Yeah.
like that. That's perfect, especially when you use that push in. It brings up the intensity of the fight. I feel and keeps
very
the,
well
the,
edited.
That's cool.
The energy of it.
Well done, everyone.
Yeah.
So there were two movies that someone voted for, but they were in 11th place.
Tied for 11th.
Actually, they were tied. The 11th place was a tie. Darkness Surrounds and Barneth were right there, right at the very edge of it. And there was a lot of like good, worthwhile call it out moments from the the other 18 whole fights that were in this year. But this was a great crop. This was a great year. A lot of good stuff in this one, and a lot of good fights. And we got like a first time win for Nate. That means he can go back to winning third forever.
Ouch.
That was it.
No, that was
That's
he did a
because
great
I
job.
need
No,
though.
this is
that was
nature.
fantastic.
Yeah, man. Good fights. Good fights
Solid,
for everyone.
consistent, well-rounded. Just,
Yeah, guys.
And that's what. And again, to put how we voted on it, it was like it's there may have been other films that were better at some or many of these aspects, but this was the one that consistently made all of our lists up high.
Yeah, actually,
and that averages that's how it worked out.
Brothers Quarrel was in
All right, what are we
everyone's
laughing at? What's
Brothers Quarrel was in everyone's top two. No, in the chat room, Mickey's funny. She says, "Congrats, Nate! You won the year. There's no prize."
To be fair, I never got my T-shirts.
Well, you're supposed to email me. If you did email me a shirt, then I have no follow
What
up.
shirt? There's a shirt.
One year, I said I'd give people shirts.
Yeah.
But then, like, people I know won.
Was
I
it
was
last
like,
year?
No,
No.
no, it was not last year. You can't have any shirts. So yeah,
Wait,
no,
that year
Brothers-
didn't have a prize either.
No, it did
Oh,
not.
yeah,
No.
so then there's been no prizes for
Gotta
the
work
past
on
like
that.
few years.
You know what? It became I was consistently giving away Nova
And then it
Sabers,
became like,
and then it was like people who were winning already had them from
Yeah.
previous
I
wins.
don't have one.
potentially.
I don't
You
have one.
You don't have one. Fine.
Ricky finally got some.
He bought them. Yeah,
Good job. Good for him.
he bought.
I would like a prize for last year.
Nate bought them too. They got he and his brother. So
Oh, yeah. that's
Yeah,
right.
we got so
for
let's
this,
see
that's
here.
what we were just looking at.
So let's see. Ryan, your first place was K-On!, followed by Brothers Quarrel.
That is correct.
Antoine, your first place was Reunion, followed by Brothers Quarrel. Anthony and Eddie both had Brothers Quarrel in first place. So let's see. What else is right along the top here? This was really tight.
I had
Basically,
Exile.
K-On!, Reunion, and Brothers Quarrel were really in
these are not like way distanced from each
No,
other or
no, man.
anything.
These-
You know,
these
these
all-
are edging each other out.
The point differential of the first and second was 5 points?
3
Yeah?
points.
3 points? Oh,
Three
three
points. No, you're right. 5 points.
Oh, okay.
I would know that if I could read my own handwriting. Yeah. Right up. And this is a great year, you guys. And lots of cool stuff. I like seeing the interactive lightsabers.
Oh yeah.
That's it's always fun to call out the weird trends and forgot, like we used to call it paper plate awards, where it's like, well, you don't get an actual prize, but we'll write your name on a paper plate and you can put it on your fridge. The stuff that we just liked. But a lot of great stuff happening with color correction this year. I like glowing props, so let's just keep that going forever from now on.
Yeah.
We got lots of good stuff. Also some a few good performances too. We don't often see things where it's like, oh, I want to see that guy just in movies, but then
I agree with Antoine, though. I want to see the people who made Exile make a movie.
Yeah.
Like a feature
Yeah,
film.
man.
You guys are past fan films at this point. Like,
Exile was on the high on everyone's.
You've outgrown it.
You've outgrown it.
Yeah.
I haven't. I'll be there forever.
Well done, everyone, and congratulations to Team Nate. Well done. Sweet.
We'll send out your paper plate and
Yeah.
and a Tokes and Stokes shirt.
First place.
How does he feel? Is he in the chats?
I think he's pretty-
He did a smiley face.
He seems pretty happy.
He peed.
His reaction is in emoticons.
Where is he?
Yeah,
He's
How-
pretty
how
drunk
red?
though, right?
Will stop making films that he's trying on.
I just saw that. Yeah, he said the lesson here.
yeah, he
is
threw the-
stop trying.
How
Yeah,
old is he?
the annoying part is
That's
he
funny.
says like that he like put this together in like a week,
Yeah,
including
it's funny.
effects.
In the chat,
is that
Nate
right?
says the lesson learned here is to stop trying. We did Duel of the Dorks in 3 months, third place. Avian 2 in 6 weeks, third place. This 15 days, first place.
You know what's actually funny?
Stop trying.
Same thing for Eric's team, the Whiteley crew. Though they usually do their fights in like 2 weeks.
But
Yeah.
you know what? It's like it's not all those other pieces gave them an experience to work from.
Sure,
They
it
know
doesn't
what to
happen
do.
in a vacuum.
Yeah.
And it's
Yeah.
always standing on your own shoulders of experience from the previous things that you've done and what you've learned from it, and it helps you get through it faster and get it
Yeah,
done.
because you know one of the generally speaking, more time is better. So Hollywood, please stop rushing. But you know that also takes away your opportunity to that doesn't leave you much time to add bloat in your fight.
Yeah.
You know, you got in, you got out,
Right.
and you didn't have time to sort of overstay the welcome. That also helps.
Yep.
There was that fight a few years ago, one of Whiteley's fights that was like 38 years long.
Yeah, I know. Actually, it won.
Whiteley, that guy.
Oh, Whiteley.
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 So that brings us to the end. Congratulations,
Someone
everyone.
said Anthony.
Someone's talking about
What,
you.
Anthony?
What? What do you want?
Oh,
Wow.
And he says this
I
wasn't
am horny for
choreographed.
all the-
What happened?
Wow.
What's going
Why
on?
would you read that aloud?
That's why I stopped.
What are you doing?
That's why I stopped reading it.
Hold on, what happened?
It's very graphic about our things.
It's fun.
What's Nate Cow asking me?
Oh, Nate, I was talking about Meg.
All right. Okay. All right.
He agreed with something you said. Ed.
Someone for the future, for the rest of humanity, when people don't know what's happening right now, there's a weird spammer in the chat. And they came in and made weird comments. So, congratulations, everyone, once again this year. 10th place, Nomads.
Well done.
9th place, Corruption. 8th place, Spite. 7th place, Malice versus Ren. 6th, The Thing About Betrayal. 5th, Zombies versus Lightsabers. 4th was Exile, right next door to the tie for 3rd, which was Reunion and Force Storm Awakening. 2nd place was K-On! And 1st place was Brothers Quarrel. Thank you, everyone, for your participation and for watching and for hanging out.
Yeah, this is much better. I think this is much more succinct.
Yeah.
This
and
way.
Until next time, do we have anything we want to add before we throw?
I would like to know how old the winners are. Does anyone know how old they are?
Those
Nate
guys?
is 29, 27.
17 last year, I think.
27, yeah.
Yeah, 16. He's 16. His brother is 14.
Nathaniel Cowie is 16.
They look really young. That's why I'm asking.
I know Nate is my
29?
age. I just don't know what exactly.
Did you say 29?
Well, 27.
He's got a painting in the attic that's aging.
I'm gonna say 27. That's my final answer. Nate, you're 27, right?
Nate, if you're there, please answer.
He's working on. There's a delay here.
Oh, it's a delay.
With your
Yeah.
comment about their previous experience.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Mike Scott told me this analogy once about Picasso. Like this guy walked up to Picasso at a restaurant or something.
Right.
You know this one?
Yeah,
You guys know this
I know this
I
one.
think
yeah.
I do.
Where
No,
the
go-
guy's like,
please.
"Can you draw
Can
me
you
a
please
picture?" And it
paint
was,
me draw me a Picasso
on a napkin,
And he draws
and
him-
like in 20 seconds he draws it. He goes, he says, "Okay, that's $300." He goes, "It took you 20 seconds." He goes, "Yeah, but it took me 30 years to learn how to do that in
That's
20
it.
seconds."
That's
Right.
right.
Yeah,
Very
yeah.
true.
there's an alteration of that I like, but it's a really inappropriate thing to say. So we have. It looks like Nate is 27, Jeff is 20,
Oh!
and the winner of the LCC is Antoine. That's how it happens, folks. That's just how it happens.
Here's your paper
Cool.
plate.
Which judge got the things the closest?
Oh, which judge was closest?
Yeah.
Let's
Oh,
see.
that's me for sure.
Who
You
was
were
closest?
like-
Let me see.
Statistically.
Let me see. My number one was Reunion. It came in third. It tied for third. Well, that's wrong. That's wrong. Brothers Quarrel was number 2. That was wrong. That was wrong. My number
But yeah,
3
you're on a roll here, dude.
was Escape. Nope, that was in 2. So no. Exile was 4.
Okay.
Right on the money. Zombies was 5.
Ding.
Right on the money. Darth Malice. No, that was further down, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Darn it. Force Storm Training. Nope. Spite.
Ding.
Boom. Corruption.
Ding.
And then the thing about betrayal.
Let me see.
That's pretty close, man.
That's pretty good.
You got
Pretty
four.
good.
Ryan's was also pretty close.
Where did Force Storm Training rank?
All right. Okay.
You guys ready to wrap
Oh,
this up?
sorry. Yeah, sorry.
I put it at 4.
We can do this off the air too.
All right, folks.
He's like,
I put Brothers Quarrel at 1.
Thank you very much for watching. You can always find this and others. If you search YouTube, Lightsaber Choreography Competition Judging, you can find more of us doing this back in time. Other
previous
fights,
years. Yep.
Other years. You've also got friendsinyourhead.com for all of your everything needs. We will provide you with audio for anything at all, as long as it's commentaries or just mostly white guys talking. It's fine. You should listen to it. We haven't had a show for like a year, but it was good, and there's a lot of it, and it's free. You're welcome. Friendsinyourhead.com. And until next time, my name is T. Christie.
Antoine Vandelay.
Anthony Alba.
Oh, dang it! Ryan Weber.
And this
Thank
has
you,
been,
everybody.
yet another year of the fabulous lightsaber choreography competition. We'll see you next year. Sabercomp.com, y'all,
yes.
for your time to sign up.
Start working now. Get ready. Get on it for next year.
Starts now,
Actually-
2016.
Actually, I would say you should probably wait until like a week before.
Actually, yeah.
Yeah, because apparently
Yeah,
Nate,
apparently,
Nate's cracked
the
the code.
less time you leave yourself, the
Yeah.
better. Well,
Thank you all for watching, and until next year, stay glowing. Shit, it should be a good sign out. There isn't one. Bye.
yeah.
Bye,
Bye, everybody.
Peace, guys. May the force be with you.
Don't going.
Is that really copyrighted?
Oh, whatever.
I don't think so.
Dude, we just
We're
watched a
fine.
bunch of lightsaber
Yeah,
fights.
sure.